Hi everyone, welcome to Val's Kitchen Eats. How about some Chinese food today? We'll be making chicken and broccoli. Here are the ingredients that you will need. I will start by making the sauce, but before I do, I want to talk about this wok a little bit. If you guys want to start making a little more Chinese food at home, look for a flat surface wok, something like this. Don't get the round one. One thing, it's more stable. Another thing, that absorbs a lot more heat than you would from a round one where the heat kind of escapes from the sides. Chinese cooking is really high intense heat that is really hard to get at home. Okay, so I'm just gonna chop the ginger. Doesn't have to be too fine. Same thing with garlic, it's just a sauce. So all this stuff is gonna be strained right out of the sauce anyway, so just kind of rough chop it. Everything goes in. And this sauce, you can double the recipe or triple the recipe because this sauce is really good with eggplant and broccoli or any kind of vegetables, or maybe shrimp and broccoli, beef and broccoli. So maybe you want to make a good batch that's going to last in your refrigerator for 7 days, and then you can start, maybe twice, 3 times a week, and you can make different dishes. All right, so the veggies are in, and I got the oil. You guys can use like peanut oil, canola oil. That goes in, put it on the stove, and we're gonna give it a few minutes until all that oil starts infusing by the garlic and ginger and scallions. Okay, I'm gonna move everything over. Our veggies been cooking for about 1.5 minutes. The oil's been kind of infusing. I'm not looking for any color, so at this point I'm gonna add my chicken broth. Goes in. All right, you guys can use chicken broth or vegetable broth, chicken stock, either one will do. And I have some of this Mirin, little Chinese cooking wine, soy sauce, just a touch of sesame oil, a little sugar. And if you guys are watching your calories, or you can add sugar substitutes at this point instead of the sugar, that will work as well. I got a little bit of this hoisin sauce and oyster sauce. Okay, so while our sauce is getting infused by ginger and scallions and garlic, I'm gonna start marinating and preparing my chicken. Okay, I got these beautiful 2 chicken breasts, and I buy chickens whole, and I debone the chicken. I use the rest of the chicken for other dishes, and it just comes out cheaper that way. And then the quality of the chicken, you broke it down yourself. You can see that it's really nice and fresh. Right, so I'm gonna begin by cutting it in half. So once you cut your chicken in half, what you wanna do is cut the chicken breast against the grain. You want to go, as you can see, the grains of the chicken are running along the length of the chicken breast. So I'm going to go against it. So the chicken is going to come out really nice and tender when it cooks. Okay, at this point, the chicken is all cut up. Goes into the bowl. Push my cutting board over. Right, I got some cold water. Just a little bit goes in. We're going to season it with a little garlic powder. All right. Salt, pepper. Mix it in really, really good. So what the water is going to do is going to get absorbed with the garlic powder and all the seasonings right into the chicken. And what that does, it gives our chicken a little more moisture. It won't dry up as fast. And I can tell you can take another ounce of water, cold water. We don't want to warm anything up prior to cooking. All right, so, all right, I'm going to put a little starch at a time. See how much it absorbs. Kind of mix it in. So the water gave us the moisture that I was talking about, and the starch gave us a little more crispiness when it cooks, so it kind of seals the flavors and the juices, the moisture in the chicken. So that's what the starch is for. Okay, once your chicken looks like it absorbed all that cornstarch by mixing, you're gonna add a little bit of this oil in there and mix it up as with your fingers, be gentle. A little more. Okay, so at this point I'm going to just set the chicken aside and let it marinate for about 10 minutes, and I'm going to check on the sauce. Our sauce is fully infused, and let's take it over to strain it. So I got the sieve, and the sauce gets strained into our bowl. Let it all kind of drip down. I got some hot water, and I'm going to put it into our pot and let it come to a boil. What we're going to do is we're going to prep our broccoli right now, and we're going to blanch it. We're going to cook it in that boiling water, take it out, blanch it in cold ice water. And what that does is it keeps the broccoli nice and crisp, and the green color stays. If you just start cooking it into the heat, mixing it in there, and within like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, it will all turn dark color on you. That ice blanching part really prevents that. All right, so let's begin. All right, so I'm cleaning our broccoli and getting it ready for our steamer. All right, so if they're too big, then I will cut them in half. But anything this size works. Just about 1 or 2 bite pieces. All right, I got all my broccoli florets in the bowl. And when it comes to the stalk here, I know everyone kind of splits into two. Some people eat it, some people don't. I do. I think it's very nutritious. There's a lot of fiber in it, so I'll put it in my dish. If you guys don't like it, don't put it in, but it's preference. Okay, just make sure you clean it all from all these leaves. You know, you just got to take them off. All right, I'm going to take it over to my boiling water and season the water really well with salt. Okay, the water is seasoned and it is boiling. Our broccoli can go in. And while I'm waiting for the broccoli to come to a simmer, and that should take probably like 30 seconds to a minute, I'm going to put some cold ice water in the same bowl. Okay, so that only took about 30 seconds. You don't want to overcook the broccoli because you still want it to have that little crunch. I got some ice in my bowl here. The broccoli goes in there. So what it's doing, it's getting shocked from that really, really high heat to our ice bath. And like I said earlier, what it's going to do is going to keep that nice green color. And that's our goal. All right, the pan, and just wipe it down. I don't want no water in there. Nice and clean. And it goes back onto our stove. We're going to get it really nice and hot, and we're going to start cooking our chicken. While I'm waiting for it to get that heat up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the carrot. The way you can eat, I mean, there's different ways you can do it. What I'll do, I'll just make some slices like that. Okay. And I don't want to cut it too thin because it'll just get too soft. I still want a little crunch, a little texture on my carrot. So. Okay. Our wok is really hot. I'm going to put a little bit of this oil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it start smoking. It's smoking already. And for that amount of chicken, I'm going to split it up in 2 batches. This Chinese cooking is really high temp, fast cooking, so we don't want to overcrowd the pan. Okay, that's good enough. Carrots can go in. Our sauce, strained sauce, can go in. And what I have here is a little bit of that cornstarch with cold water. I'm gonna just mix it here with my finger, break it up. Okay, and that can go in. I'm gonna put it in probably in 20 seconds or so. Our chicken is ready for the slurry. Cornstarch is gonna make it thick. Okay. The broccoli goes in. And a little bit of sesame oil. Not too much. Our dish is ready. You don't want to overcook it. And I got these Chinese takeout containers that everything's going to go into. All right, so that is your traditional broccoli and chicken. All right, just gonna hit it a little bit with some sesame seeds. And it is time for that taste test. Right on. Chicken is really nice and tender. The broccoli has that little crunch to it. The carrot is really nice and sweet. And the sauce just complements the whole thing. Do I have a little bit over here? But anyway, guys, I really enjoy making this. Reminds me of me growing up back in my youth days, back in Brooklyn, and just brings me back home. I really enjoy sharing my recipes with you guys. Please like and subscribe, and aloha from Hawaii.